Hi guys. Um, I am Chantal. I am the dyer behind Jelen Yarns, and um, I wanted to join. I love these little fiber virtual events that let people get to know me a little better and my products, and that's it. So I am from the West Island of Montreal in Quebec. Um, I started dyeing several years back as a little, just dyeing for myself. And then I wanted to try my hand at a trade show, and I did. And I love the energy is incredible when you do these shows. And that's how it came about. And from there, it's still small. It's just me. Um, Nobody really. I dye all the yarn, I label all the yarn, I skein all the yarn, I ship all the yarn. I do it all. It's not my main. It's not my main. I do work full time. I am an accountant by day and yarn dyer by night. It's the left side of the brain, right side of the brain. So it's my. I come down, like, I dye in my basement, and I just find that it gives me the opportunity to express myself differently, artistically. Um, I don't have set recipes that I will read. Like, I don't have a 10 colors that I do for the spring, the fall. I just like to come down and play. So whatever comes out of the pots is whatever hits the shops. I do have my standard, like the grays, the black. I do have my consistent neutrals. But sometimes I come down and start doing one thing and complete opposite comes out of what I was expecting, because I just kind of go with the flow. So I have several bases. The one that I have the most colors, like range of colors, would be Bella. Bella is a single ply fingering weight, and it's a blend of merino cashmere silk. It's 70 merino, 20 cashmere, 10 or 15 cashmere, 10 silk. Or is it, no, 75, 15, 10. And I love knitting with single ply. I know a lot of people don't. I love knitting single ply, and the cashmere and the silk content. Knitting this is like incredible. And so that's the one that I dye the most of. I like doing fades. I usually end up with one color that comes out of the pots, and then I work from there. So this is one example of a 5-color set that I have. It's all the golds and the grays. This is Tanis Lavallee's, I don't remember the name, Tanis Lavallee's sweater. So Bella is, I do knit with it a lot. I'm a knitter first, not a dyer. I love to knit, and I dye products that I love to knit with. So that would lead me to Emily. Emily is my base that is extra fine merino and nylon. Soft enough for sweaters and shawls. This is a sweater knit out of it. The extra fine merino drapes beautifully, and that little nylon, they're good enough for socks. I tried switching to the standard, the one that everybody knits with, the 80-20, but my sock knitters, the ones that buy my yarn, preferred the 85-15. So I actually brought it back recently. So the inventory is a little low, but I'm building it up. And sock yarn is, I will, like, for some reason, Bella, I find it more a classic yarn. If you're going to knit a sweater, you're going to knit it in like classic colors. So I'm scared to sometimes go wild on Bella, but in sock yarn, I let myself play. So like I will do the variegated colors. I will do the, where is she? I will do the ones with the fluorescent pop. This one's new. This one's called 40 Love. And my son says, why do you call it 40 Love, Mom? I said, it looks like a tennis ball. He tells me it looks like more like Billie Eilish's hair. So the sock yarn, I do have quite a few colors. I would knit a sweater in it any day. Shawls, it drapes gorgeously because of the extra fine merino. I also used to dye mohair. And then when the Surrey silk first came out, I ordered some and I started dyeing that. And I remember the first time I was at, I think it was my second show. It was Kitchener-Waterloo. I think I was the only one there that had the Surrey. And from there, I still like knitting with the Surrey because mohair makes me itch. I do have some mohair, not a lot left, but Surrey, so the Surrey, a lot of people use it instead of mohair. It is a little thicker. It is baby alpaca and mulberry silk. So a mohair will have 460 yards on 50 grams. And the Surrey has 328. So it is thicker, it is fluffier, but it's really soft. Like it's a dream. It's a dream to wear. You could replace it. You can use it in I used it in a colorwork yoke of a sweater. I believe Andrea Mowry had a few of them where she used it in her color work. And knit with anything in a hat. This is amazing, guys. And I also have Sweet 17. I don't have a lot left of it. I do have some. So Sweet 17, like a sport weight. It's extra super, what is it? It's super fine merino. So the micron count on the merino is 17. Super fine is 17. The extra fine is 19. Industry standard, I'd say they go between 21 and 22. And those are the lengths of this. It has to do with the staples of the merino. The longer they are, the smaller the micron count, the softer the yarn, basically. Sweet 17 sport weight, drapes beautifully. I've knit sweaters with this, shawls with this. I just knit a cowl where I held these two. I did color work with them, Andrea Mowry's new one. And it's gorgeous. I dyed up a whole bunch and then I sold sets of 3 for a shawl that someone was designing, and I have what I have left. It kind of gets neglected compared to Bella. And I also have a few of these, the zebra non-superwash. It knits up, it gives a shadow because of the black marble. I don't know if you guys could see in the sweater. It just gives a little effect of a shadow in the yarn. So it's non-superwash. I've used it a few times as contrast. I don't know if you see the shading in it. That's all the yarn. That's all the zebra yarn. So the main color, the purple, is Bella. And then the lighter color was the zebra yarn. And I also had a few people, what they did is they bought 3 different colors. they held it double. So they did the whole fade in the cardigans as the like a contrast color and color work. See, I've got the funky ones too. For some reason, I like to go funky on this brand, this base too. I have no idea why, but like if you're using it as a contrast color in a yoke, it's nice to have a bit of the pop. And I don't have all my samples with me. And my new base is called Miss. Miss is a sport weight blend of merino, 70% merino, 20% yak, and 10% silk. It has a little bit of a rustic feel to it, but the silk gives it a gorgeous drape. So I've knit a few cardigans with it. I have, I'm also casting on later tonight the new Jessie May sweater. Hold on, my colors. The green gum. I think I'm gonna do a light gray and a blue, even though I kind of want to add in my pink. It's because Bella is single ply, I like to have alternatives because not everybody likes the single ply. And this is a great sweater yarn. And for those of you for this Bella with the single ply and the pilling, the cashmere and the silk really make that it doesn't, I haven't gleaned this one. And there's like, I just find that it doesn't pill as much as a single ply merino. And that's why I used to dye a single ply merino. And when I found this base, I switched right away. I find the pilling is a lot less on it. All yarn pills, even this is the 85, like it's a 4-ply and it does pill. They all pill. We have to take care of our hand knits. I don't, I wash and dry mine. And that's it. I'm wondering if I can open this up for questions because maybe I could talk about upcoming events. So in April, we are actually going to be doing, oh, there's chats. Maybe I can look at the chats. Sorry, guys. What is the yardage on the Bella? The yardage on the Bella base is 490 yards of skein. It's 115 gram skein. It goes a long way. Is the merino? Yes, it's the, and Bella is superwash. Oh, thank you. Somebody said my sweater is beautiful. Does anybody else have any questions? Can you display some? Oh yes, I could display some of my colors. I love rich, dark, saturated. I love over dyeing. I love, I mix a lot of colors. So look, here's this is Rebel. I'm trying to get the lighting right on this. This is where I might turn on, no. It's just speckled, over dyed. Not over dyed, but it's got layers. It's very hard to see in this light. Here's another one that I really like. It's called Plume de Paon, which is Plume de Paon. I try to dye colorways that when you knit them, they're relatively even, especially with Bella. Like sock yarn, okay, yeah, like if you knit with this, you might get pooling. But Bella, because I like to knit shawls and stuff, I kind of try to like to knit. If I'm doing these deep saturated, it's like you can knit a sweater in this and you wouldn't be able, you won't get any pulling. Some of my other colors. Got some very fall colors. This is sweater weather. I've recently put kits together for Hohi's new shawl. This is sweater weather. This is leather bound. And just to give you an idea, leather bound has 3 layers and 9 colors in it. So I mix the colors. It gets dyed 3 times. Well, not 3 times, but the dye goes in 3 times. So I just like to, I find it gives rich colors. This is caramel brûlé. I also like speckling. Speckles. See the neutrals? It's very soft, but still this one was called, this is Cobblestone, and this one is Celestia. Now, my original plan for Cobblestone, I dye for me a lot. My original plan for Cobblestone was to do a colorwork sweater with these two. When this one is Sandcastle. This one's Deep Sea. I think this one's the one this one's Deep Sea. It's just, it's like, this colorway is always difficult to show. It's like a turquoise layered with teals and blues. Playdate. Playdate is purples. There's silvers and little hints of blue, and knits up great. I don't know, I had started knitting a sweater and I scrapped it, but this one just came out of the pots. It's not even on the website yet. Doesn't have a name yet either. But see, like I can go from one spectrum to the other, but these would be nice too together. I love the deeps. I like the earthies. One of my favorite colors is Barista. Oh, you can't see it. So Barista's got a cognac base in it, but then it's got layers of gray and black on top of it. It knits up gorgeous. That's the color. That's this one. It is double stranded, but it's this bottom color here. Sorry. Hold on a second. What is your favorite colorway to dye and why? My favorite colorway to dye, I don't know if I have any. Hold on a second. It's called Spring Fling. Spring Fling. Why? Because it's got like all these like gorgeous summer, spring speckles. I think I only have one skein left, but you know, spring's around the corner, so I'm about to dye some more. But this is one of the ones I love to knit. It just has to be one of my favorite all-time colors to put in the pots and dye, because it's the messiest, because I end up with like different pots of dye everywhere. That's my favorite color to dye. I don't have the last color, but here's another fade that I had done. I am currently knitting. It's my knit for the Cal. It's just grays with little speckles. So we got Mineral, Melancholy, Maverick. And then I usually end it with Essex, but I have no Essex left. So it's kind of like a darker version of this. Well, what do you get your inspiration when you create your colors? I don't get my inspiration from anywhere. I honestly, it depends on the day I've had. It depends on, I could come down and say, okay, I want to do a very lightly green speckled yarn. And then something doesn't speckle, like I didn't use the right color. Because I like trying, I like buying new dyes. I just like having variety. So this is what happened when it was supposed to end up being. Came down to do a batch of this. And then I ended up with this. And that's pretty much, collections are hard for me to do. Like, well, I'm getting better at it because I do have my core colors that I know people like to use when they're knitting. The merino yak silk, I want to knit everything with it. I don't have time to knit everything all the time, but and that's pretty, I'm sorry, I'm saying yeah, a lot, but is there any other questions? Because I don't know what, that's, I still have half an hour. Is there any other questions? I do have a new base that I'll probably be bringing to some of my shows this summer. So I'm going to be in Knit City in April, and then I'm going to be in Ontario at the Kawartha Yarn Festival in June. And I will eventually, these aren't on my website, but they were all dyed up for Knit City. It's baby alpaca cashmere silk. It's absolutely the softest yarn. It drapes, it's light. It's a fingering, but it's very, very thin, I find, when you're knitting it. I like experimenting. I like finding bases that are different. So I do have another one that's coming. I only have a few skeins. I know people like the mohair. What would you be able to help out with the color fade? Would you? Yes, I can. I do a lot of custom orders. So if you find one or two colors, we can work with that. If you have an inspiration picture, sorry, somebody asked, would you be able to help out with the color fade? If I email you? Yes, I can. I have a lot of bases that aren't on my site because I do a lot of custom orders for people. A lot of my clients will say, I want to knit this. What can we get? So I'll order 20 skeins of a DK merino cashmere silk. I'll order Sweet 17, the DK version. Have a lot of people who ordered that. I'd love to, oh yes, my non-super, my DK. Somebody asked about my non-super wash. So I have a DK that is non-super wash. It's so soft because it's extra fine merino. It is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I do have a few sweaters in it. It's non-super wash. So you got to keep that in mind. I find it does pill, but it's gorgeous. Like I have two sweaters that I absolutely adore in it. It knits up like a worsted. It's the softest. It's so like when people think when you touch this and you say it's non-superwash, they don't believe it. It knits up gorgeously. The colors are a lot more muted because of it's non-superwash. It's very hard to get consistent colors with the non-superwash because you got to rinse it. I always try to rinse as much. My colors are usually set pretty good. I have knit it in hats and cowls. Those I find are absolutely perfect for it. The sweaters, I knit them as long as you're knitting like I wouldn't knit a tight sweater around the arms because somebody knit the Comfort Fade cardigan with it and the underarms are felting. So I do have a few sweaters, the same thing, but other than that, you know, it's non-superwash. So you kind of gotta, all the yarn is non-muslin. That I do make sure of. Some of them. So the non-superwash I do have undyed. I'm slowly learning to do dye to order instead of just dyeing a whole bunch and putting in the shop. If ever there's anything, you email me. Like somebody emailed me the other day. She wanted to knit a summer sweater and she ordered Pure DK, the non-superwash one. And she goes, oh, you only have like 2 on your site, but I want 3. I said, I'll pop some in and I'll dye the 3 at the same time. So they're all from the same lot for you. And I saw you're knitting a sweater. I said, well, I think I have a few skeins of merino cashmere silk. Do you want that instead? So because it was a sweater, you can knit a sweater with the non-superwash. I just find it pills. As long as it's a loose sweater, it would be okay. Is there any other questions? Oh, I don't have a lot of it. This is non-superwash. It's Peruvian Highland wool. I made kits a few years back for a sweater. This one knits gorgeously for sweaters. I am knitting the wool and honey. I used to call it my crusty yarn, but it has a crunch to it, but it knits I really like knitting it. It's the same Peruvian Highland wool as the zebra yarn. The zebra yarn, actually, what people have been knitting is mittens. They're using this to knit mittens, so it gives like a sock. So like the colors, you don't get pooling, you just kind of get, so they knit the mitten, and then they've been using the Surrey silk as the lining in it. Because it's the Peruvian Highland wool. So I have undyed, I have some of this Peruvian wool too. I don't have a lot of colors, but I can dye any color except for black. Black doesn't take very well on non-superwash yarn. And non-superwash, the Surrey is non-superwash. The merino yak silk is treated. Bella is treated. The sock yarn is treated. Sweet 17 is treated. And I'm looking for an alternative to mohair. I know this Surrey, sometimes people think it's too thick to double strand. A lot of people like to double strand their sweaters for the halo. So I'm trying to find a cost alternative way for my clients. So I found a product from Italy. It's alpaca, mohair, and silk. And yes, I'm going to have Surrey at Knit City. Hopefully, I need to order some more. So hopefully I'll have time to dye some up. But if ever you're looking for anything in particular, Mélanie, c'est toi? No? Sorry. thought it was Melanie. Yes, I'm gonna have Surrey at Knit City. If there's anything you want in particular, I can always put it aside for you before I get there. I mean, before the doors open, because I'm probably not gonna, I like to do a lot of different colors and not have too much. I find that people don't buy very much sweater. Oui, c'est moi. Ça va bien, Mélanie? And I was just wondering, so that's it. So the new one, yeah, Mohair. Melanie got me all distracted. So the new one is alpaca, mohair, and silk. And on a 25-gram skein, you get 400 yards. It has a little less halo, but if you just want that, you know, if like a lot of the patterns have it where you're holding mohair single, like holding mohair double, and it's expensive. So I just kind of trying to find an alternative to that. So this one has a lot more yardage, same effect, and the alpaca and the mohair a little less itchy. It's not exactly what I was expecting, but I can wear a hat with it. So that's pretty much what it is. The price point, so a skein of mohair, people usually put it $36.40 for 459 grams. So this one at 25 grams, I'm hoping to be able to do it for like 20. I haven't done my calculations yet, so please don't quote me on this. Between 22 to 25. The deep sea. Oh, yes, deep sea. That would be try Cayman Lagoon. My recipe is named Cayman Lagoon, and I renamed my colorway Deep Sea, but I think I forgot to change the name on my website. And it's on Bella. I think, no, I don't have any left on the sock yarn. I don't have any left on the sock yarn. And guys, I have tons of yarn that's not even on my website. I just don't have time. Like, I work full time. I have two boys, 11 and 9. And we added a COVID puppy to the mix, and that's fun. So I dye when I can. Like right now, I've got 2 pots on the stove upstairs. I dye my solids and my, I don't speckle in my kitchen because my kitchen is white. I speckle downstairs, but I will do my stocks and bring them upstairs and do it on the stove. I just find it goes easier in a pot, and I don't have water in my basement. So when I dye yarn in my basement, I go up and down with jugs of water. And that is the complicated life of not having the proper installation. I'm going to try to move slowly without making you guys here. If you guys want to see just how much yarn I have down here, that's all Surrey. I'm going to flip you around. And that is sock yarn, Sweet 17, bit of everything. I'd have to say about 25% of that is on the website. Did you say how you started your yarn dyeing business? Yes, I did. I was talking about my yarn dyeing business, well, how I started it at the beginning. So I discovered high-end yarn and became a yarn snob. And then I had the opportunity to take a yarn dyeing class with Sweet Paprika. So Debbie, we did a dye class. There was 4 of us. Debbie showed us the basics. Then we did a second class with her. And it started from there. Then with somebody else, we had ordered and split, you know, you start looking up suppliers and stuff. And I'm very good at looking things up because I'm an auditor. So I found a few suppliers. We ordered some dyes, split everything, and it just started off like that. And we would bring the skeins we had dyed to knit nights, and the girls would go crazy and buy them. And from there, went to a little local yarn store in Vaudreuil, which is off the island of Montreal. And she was selling our yarn on consignment. And then I take summers off to stay with the kids. So one summer I told my husband, I said, I'd like to just maybe dye some colors up and do a yarn show. So I did 2 shows in Ontario, and I was really well accepted. And from there, I got accepted to Knit City, dyed a whole bunch of yarn 2 years ago, and started a website. So the website's I've actually only been selling online since Knit City did their first virtual weekend. So I scrambled to get a Shopify together. And mostly it's people I know that come here. Now that the pandemic is slowing down a bit, I have people message me to take appointments to shop. And that's what we do. They message me, when are you available? So usually I have a day off every 2 weeks. Usually it's on my day off or on the weekends or after I finish work. And that's pretty much all I got for you. Don't know if I have any more colors. Oh, if you would like to wait, I could show you a sweater knit with deep sea. Whoever was asking about the deep sea. Jackie, hold on. So this is deep sea knit up. And I didn't alternate skeins on that one. I have I have a whole bunch of projects that I could show you. So this was Stephen West's, not the last knit along, but the one before that. Slip Stravaganza, I want to say. And if you see, what I did is I used the Surrey. I used the Surrey as one of my main colors. And I used a speckled Surrey. Surrey looks intense when it's on a skein. The speckles look really, really intense, but you got to remember it's so thin that when you knit it, the colors they don't show up as intensely. That's why when you look at a skein, sometimes you think like, what would I knit with that? Like this one. If you hold this with a DK, you actually get, I don't know if I have it here. Hold on a second. You get something like this. It's in there. This is also knit with a single ply alpaca from Laine, so it is fluffier, but it tones it all down. It's not as intense as you would think. It's fun. It's like knitting with mohair. When you knit with a speckled mohair, the speckles don't show up crazy speckles. They just kind of give a little bit flicker of color. And so what else I got in the pile of whips here, the pile of FOs. So the yak, this was my sample for the yak. It's the long summer cardigan. The drape, it's a sport weight, but you know, sport fingering, you play with it. Bella Told you I like to knit with Bella. This is the Flutterbutt by Jessie May. I think this is cardigan number 4. I don't weave in my ends. This is one skein of Bella. This is cami number, it's like camisole number, I don't know, 4, I want to say. I knit it last year at the end of the summer. So my ends, I don't know if you can see, I don't weave in ends, but it's one skein of Bella. Here, just to show you that the pilling on the Bella, 3-color cashmere by Hohi. I've had this for 4 years. There is nothing on it. And I wear it all the time. When I knit, I watch TV. I knit at night after the kids go to bed. Our routine is supper, clear up. If I have anything to do downstairs, I come and do it. I bring my orders to Canada Post. Then I come and I sit and I Netflix and knit. I watch Netflix. I can binge watch. I could watch a whole series in like 2 days. And that is my therapy every day. I sit with my decaf coffee or tea and I will knit from like 9:30 till about 11. I knit a lot. It does help me, I find. And I think that's why I've started, I knit so much, the therapeutic values it brings. And I'm just trying, I have a whole bunch of things here, guys. Oh, here's one with the yak. You guys want to see color work with the Surrey? So this is the yak. Well, this is Miss, and I use the Surrey as the second color. And it just gives it a little bit of a, sorry guys, I know I'm on a computer camera here, so. Netflix shows to binge. Guys, I'm desperate. I watch it all. It depends what kind of shows you like. I just finished watching Inventing Anna, something like that. That was good. I've been so desperate. I watched Superstore. I watched the whole Superstore show. I also loved, what's the one I watched when I could watch them all. Like when watched the hospital one, Chicago something. No, I loved Superstore too, but I felt like my husband was like, what are you doing? One of my favorite ones was Just Jess, the one with Just Jess. I was laughing out loud with that one. Yeah, these are my personal garments. I wear my samples. I know there's some people that knit samples with their yarn for like a shop, but like I knit and I wear my knits, and I will bring Chicago Med. Yes, that's it. I will bring my samples. I'll wear them. I usually wash them. Here's another Surrey. This one was held double. This is the Surrey and this is Bella. It gives, guys, when you're doing color work with Surrey, I just find it gives like a texture, like, you know, anyways, it was really, I think it was the first time I saw it was Andrea Mowry. And since then I will switch up my things. Someone's saying, I think Canadians get all the seasons of RuPaul Drag Race. I don't know. Honestly, guys, we don't have cable. I watch Netflix. Like we don't even watch the news here. Unless it's COVID related updates, then we stream them on TV. And I watch, the only podcast I really watch is Grocery Girls. That I'll do on the weekend. And so here's a nice sample. Brioche. Anybody love brioche? So this is 2 Bella brioche with Surrey. That was by a Quebec designer, Camille Descoteaux. See, pure decay, held double with the Surrey inside. Can never go wrong. This one is another Quebec designer by it's Atelier Cliche. Now, if you guys are in Florida, you don't need this, but like in Canada, you kind of need. He put a Surrey lining inside a double DK calo. And socks. I love knitting socks. These are my absolutely favorite. This is Norse. And this is just a little stripe with I am what I am. Of course, I show you the side with the, this is I am what I am with an eggplant held in it. But you see how the speckles don't, I like to do speckles that like aren't, I do have both, but yes, we just got slammed with a whole bunch of snow here, guys. It was really, I don't even think our side streets have been cleared out yet. I tried to make it to the dollar store and I couldn't even do that today. And that's, is there any other questions? Oh, here's another one of my favorite tops. I want to say unwind knitwear. Layla. Buttons in the back. I put little buttons on it. What are my favorite knitting tools? I have my Chiagus. And I love my Chiago needles. And last Christmas, was the Christmas, anyways, for Christmas one year, I don't know if you guys know, or Stephanie Earl. She is now one of the co-owners of Espace Tricot. She made these amazing leather needle cases. I was able to put my Chiagus in there. I had two, the set of the double set of Chiago. I bought the lace tips. And I put both of my pouches, the red and the blue pouch, the shorties, fit inside of it, and it all fits in one thing. It's amazing. It's amazing. That is absolutely one of my absolute favorite things I've ever bought. That I have. I'm a big Joji Locatelli knitting project bag kind of gal. And the leather is incredible on her bags. What else are my favorite knitting tools? I think that's pretty much, I'm pretty simple guy. I don't, where can you buy the needle case? I don't know if she still makes them. I know I asked her when I went the other day to the store, and she was saying she was having, with the pandemic, she's having trouble finding people to make them. I know she had an Etsy shop, Stephanie Earl, but I don't know. I think she closed it when they opened the store. But if she does sell them, it's going to be at Espace Tricot. I don't know if she still has them at Espace Tricot. It's upstairs, so I don't want to. run upstairs and leave you guys staring at a blank wall of yarn. But that has to be my all-time favorite purchase. That and my I like bags, like knitting bags. Big fan of knitting bags. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I don't have to buy yarn anymore. And that's it. If there's any questions, now's the time because I'm almost done. I didn't know I was gonna make it. Usually I know I ramble on, guys, but never known quite what to say. Oh, these bags are amazing, Sarah. Yes, they are. I just didn't know. I don't know if I can offer a coupon code. I don't know how the admins can work that out. But I'll give them a coupon code if ever anybody wants anything. You guys can use that on my shop. The grocery girls spoke about my yarn this week. So the shop kind of took a hit. But I have lots of yarn undyed in stock. So if there's anything missing, just message me. From here on out, it's going to be Knit City Prep all the way. And I'm looking forward to casting on my, thank you. Merci, Melanie. And we're just looking forward to Knit City and in-person contact, right? I don't know if there's anybody here who's going to the Montreal Knit City. Is there anybody from Montreal other than Melanie? Is there anybody else that's going to be going? No, everybody's from out west. Where's everybody from? Toronto. Well, Michelle, I'm going to be at the, I think Fenelon Falls, Vancouver. Wow, everybody's from everywhere. That's great. I'm going to be in the Fenelon Falls area, June 11th. And I'm hoping to be at Kitchener-Waterloo again this year. I think their show is scheduled for, I want to say September, the email said. September? It's so cool to have people from everywhere. Anyways, so I'm in my little basement in Pointe Claire, Quebec. And I want to thank you all for coming. If you have any questions, my email's always there. Oh, Barry. I did a show there 2 years ago too. What was it called? Fibre Spirit. And that's pretty much it. I don't have anything else. It's a disaster here. Does anybody have any last questions for me? What is happening in FF in June? What? Fenelon Falls. Fenelon Falls is the Kawartha Yarn Festival. June 11th. It's at the Fenelon Falls. If you look it up on Instagram, if you look it up, I think they've started a post on Instagram, the Kawartha Yarn Festival. So far looking like some great vendors are there, and you're welcome. And that's it. I think we all just got the go ahead for festivals, so they're starting to ask for applicants, you know. Treasure hunt word. Tickets online. I don't know if I have a treasure hunt word.
Okay, you can make up anything.
I can make up anything?
Yeah, choose one word.
Bella. Should I write it in the chat?
I do that right now.
Okay.
Perfect.